I'm Alison Tudor, editor of Finance Asia here at Super Return 2014, and I'm here with David Wei, the founder of Vision Night Capital. So, Alibaba has just done a record-breaking IPO. The world's looking at China e-commerce. What's next for the sector?
I've been so lucky and was so proud to witness Alibaba's history in the last 15 years. I have been CEO of Alibaba.com for 5 years, so part of the 1/3 of the great history. But Alibaba is so powerful and capable, but they are not doing everything for e-commerce or internet in China. They still leave a lot of room for other players to do. For example, we believe there will be 3 biggest e-commerce ticket size businesses Alibaba may not able to cover. So these will be housing, home decoration, cars. These 3 needs to be transformed by internet and e-commerce. But Alibaba, Baidu and Tencent may not be the best player to touch these 3 areas.
Well, we've seen a lot of M&A activity by the big players in the sector. Do you expect more consolidation going forward, maybe in the next year or so?
The Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent acquisition momentum started to build up about 2 years ago.
Okay.
In fact, one of our funds portfolio, 91 Wireless, sold to Baidu for $1.9 billion last summer, which is still the largest ever M&A happened in China's internet industry. But what happened prior to these 2 years, big companies in China, in internet area, they don't buy, they copy. So I think buying is better than copying.
Right.
Now these big companies appreciate the intellectual property and appreciate the scale you build and willing to pay a premium for technology, for big user base, and to pay to catch up the time they missed. And I think this will be continued.
And that's a good point. I mean, I think the world thinks of China as copying a lot of technology, but that seems to be changing. There's so much more innovation coming out of China, as proved by Alibaba.
Alibaba itself, many people thinking is Amazon plus eBay. Actually, the marketplace Alibaba creates is beyond Amazon's online retail and eBay's C2C model.
Right.
Alipay's model is very different to PayPal. But forget about these big companies' innovation. We're actually more excited about smaller companies' innovation. We are looking at 2 companies. One company called Camcard. They have 85 million users globally, but only half in China. More than half in the rest of the world. But they have no offices outside China. The other company called Camera 360. They have 200 million users globally, only 100 million users in China. The founder cannot even speak English and then seldom travel outside China. They have 23 million users in Thailand. And in a relatively small country, such penetration is actually higher than the user penetration in China. And these companies, they have no model in the world to copy from, but I think they will be the model for other people to follow, to copy.
And I understand. I was wondering, what you're working on right now. I mean, do you see maybe more cross-border M&A coming through?
At the moment, we are working on 3 cross-border transactions. We believe, number 1, mobile internet is more global than PC internet.
Right.
PC internet actually is very local.
Yes.
But the 2 examples I gave earlier are all mobile internet with a good application developed online. You don't even need to travel abroad to penetrate the whole world. Number 2, the cross-border is coming from the China angle, become more important to any global player. The China angle is different from a China story. A simple China story means your China contribution on revenue or user base, maybe 2 or 3%.
Understood.
It's a story. But the China angle needs to represent 20 to 30% of your revenue or 20 to 30% of your user coming from China. This China angle, if you can bring to the cross-border, the Chinese GPs like us can create real value to this global transaction. Otherwise, it's a story. I think the China story is over. The China angle just about to start.
When people think about China now, they're very worried about the economic slowdown, the big macro picture. How is private equity being impacted in this? Are they having to be more selective?
In the past, the China economy is so much booming.
Right.
You can take a free ride in every sector.
Yeah.
Now it's very different. Some sectors are still outperforming the general GDP growth, like internet area, like e-commerce, like consumer. They are outperforming GDP. However, there are a lot of sectors underperforming the GDP, actually suffer more from this slowing down, like the manufacturing, like any resource consumption industry. So private equity should be aware, sector by sector, rather than be aware of the general economy of China.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you. This is Alison Tudor at Super Return.